Very good evening to all of you. So I think still Rucha, a lot of guys are joining. So we can wait for just a minute and then we can begin with the session. So guys,
Yes, sure.
just a minute and we'll be starting. Okay, very good evening to you all again and welcome to Stock Durbar by Team William O'Neill India. And as always, a clear disclaimer that whatever index, stocks, levels, your questions that we discussed today is just for the knowledge sharing and educational purpose. And please do not consider it as an investment advice over here. Okay, so let's begin with Nifty's setup as always. So it has been some good week since Monday. So on Monday, we got a follow through day. And can you see my screen, right?
Yeah, Rishit.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, so you can see over here, Monday, there was a very good move in the Nifty. So it reclaimed its 50 DMA on a very good volume. So the volume was higher than the last week's average, if you consider Thursday, Friday. And it was almost 1.5% gain, very close to it. Hence, we considered it as a follow through day. Not only that is the one reason, but if you look at the setup of the mid cap indices, small cap index, so on Monday only, Nifty Small Cap 100 reclaimed its 50 DMA on a very good volume. And if you look at the specific stock setup also, the sectors that are performing well. So I think last time we discussed about how the FMCG is shaping up. So over that point of time, HUL and others were still, trying to move higher. But in ये जो last 15 days है उसमें they gained a lot of strength. उनका relative strength बहुत बढ़ गया है. उनका जो key moving averages है, they tried to reclaim that level. And also the global market. It's not like only in India. So European market में भी follow through day आ गया है. Japan, I think day before yesterday was shifted to confirm uptrend by our global team. So US is trading well. So I think I have the banner open over here. Yes, see, US has also reclaimed this 50 DMA. The blue line over here is the 50 SMA, right? So it reclaimed on 19th, and yesterday also it traded well above it. So it's not that the only Indian market setup or the Nifty setup, but the sectorial setup, the global market setup was quite in a favor, and it was a some positive action over there, in particularly in the lot of stocks reclaiming key moving averages, and that's the reason we shifted the market to a uptrend on Monday. And after that, it has been good. So on Tuesday also, the Nifty made a high of around 350, 360. Wednesday. Yesterday was a very good session for the market. So Nifty made a high around 16,580, and so yesterday it was looking like कि हाँ वो 600 वाला resistance कैसे पार करेगा Nifty. ये built up है, वो built up है. Today also it looked like कि हाँ 600 won't be easily crossed, but in the last half an hour I think there was a very good momentum in the Nifty. So entire day today I think there was a very narrow range action. If you look, the low was somewhere around 490, and till 315 the high was somewhere around 600. तो जनरली थर्सडे वाले एक्शन से एक्शन था, मतलब ऊपर नीचे बहुत हुआ. 520 to you can say 580 के बीच में काफी मोमेंट ऊपर नीचे रहा, but overall it was a very narrow range for a Thursday session. But yes, the closing was strong, and this is what we like. जो एक चीज और मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, just observe this. Friday, July 15th, the high was around 16,066, right? And the close one was around 16,050. So almost near day's high. Same thing happened on Monday, same happened on Tuesday. Wednesday, तो already there was a very strong action, and today also. So the closing जब day high के around देता है, then that is something very positive. इनफैक्ट यू शुड ऑब्जर्व दिस ऑल्सो. जब बाजार गिर रहा था तब देखो क्लोजिंग डे लो पे आ रहा था कंटिन्यूसली. सो दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू लुक फॉर. जैसे कि हाँ, यहाँ पे ये वाला कैंडल देखो, जून 3 का ऊपर गया, नीचे बंद आ गया, ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद भी ये June 7 का कैंडल देखो, June 8 का देखो, एंड देन दिस अगेन June 10 फ्राइडे, वहां भी नीचे बंद हुआ, एंड देन दिस 3-4 सेशंस. अगर आप यहाँ पे observe karoge, if you look at the Nifty chart, so the closing was no every time near the day's low while the market was falling. So this is something you need to look for. If you are observing these things, that's fine. If you are not, then try to add it to your list that okay, every day I will try to observe this also, that what is the closing position. Upper half में close होता है, then that is positive. Top quartile में होता है, then that is very positive. So these are the things you should look for. And yes, if you can see over here, this 21 DMA trying to move about 50 DMA, the red line, और जो pink line है, that is the 100 DMA. So 100 DMA भी आज properly reclaim कर लिया है Nifty. So overall, a very positive setup. And yes, the FIIs have started buying 3 consecutive sessions. So surprising news, but yes, it happened. So और ऐसा नहीं, yesterday I think 1,500 crore plus का net buying था FII का. So that is something good. So overall, the see, एक चीज अभी हो सकती है कि यहाँ से अगर निफ्टी देखो तो the gain has been very good, right? From the down, even from the follow through day, there is a notable gain over here in this week only. So अगर छोटा सा consolidation यहाँ पे होता है, then there is not a thing to worry. So a small consolidation of 200-300 point is always positive for a further move, but that doesn't mean you want some key moving levels to breach. Ideally first the 100 DMA hold करना चाहिए, and secondly जो ये follow through day वाला day है, it should hold it in any case. So that's something to look for. हाँ, बाकी अभी distribution day count you should start in case if market goes a bit lower. So distribution day, for those who are new to it, 0.2% fall on a volume which is higher than previous session. So अगर कल मार्केट गिरता है इन केस और 0.2% से ज्यादा फॉल है, तो आज से ज्यादा वॉल्यूम होता है, then we mark it as a distribution day 1. So if these 1, 2, 3 distribution day का accumulation हो जाता है, या follow through day का low और 50 DMA, ये सब जब breach होना start हो जाता है, then again means the market is under pressure and we are moving towards another fall, probably, maybe. So that's how you need to gauge the market. Otherwise in macro, so a lot of things will change next week. So the eye is on the Fed's meet the next week. And so first जब वो 9+ % का इन्फ्लेशन आया था, तब 100 बिप्स रेट हाइक का प्रोबेबिलिटी बढ़ गया था. बट नाउ अगेन I think mostly there is a discussion around 75 bips. This time the possible rate hike is 75 bips. However, there is some probability, and there are some analysts talking about a 1%, or you can say 100 bips rate hike. So it is not out of the table, but yes, mostly the consensus is around the 75 bips. See, यहाँ पे दो चीजें. एक तो Fed ने बोला है, the governor has told that, chairperson has told that we will be data driven. We will look at the data and then decide. अगर data driven है तो inflation बहुत high है अभी. But अगर sentimental अभी देखे, not even the sentiments, but you see the sign of commodity prices. So जून मिड से, जब से ये हाई इन्फ्लेशन वाला आया था डेटा, उसके बाद से या उस अराउंड से इन्फ्लेशन नीचे, मतलब कमोडिटी प्राइसेस कम हो रहे हैं. Not only the metals, right, but the energy prices also. So this will directly impact the input cost of the companies. The lower energy price will bring the retail inflation down, and overall these are the signs that inflation might have topped. So the inflation top होने का sign है, तो there might be a chances that Fed won't go very aggressive, क्योंकि उनको सॉफ्ट लैंडिंग भी करवाना है ना, इकोनॉमी को रिसेशन में डालना तो किसी का गोल नहीं होता है. एंड ऑफ द डे दे वांट द इकोनॉमी टू बी स्ट्रांग, और यू कैन से होल्ड एट अ सर्टेन लेवल and also to control the inflation. So these are always the two target of any governor or the central bank's chairperson. So Fed भी वही aim से, they will try their best for soft lending. So no one wants their country to go in recession. But yes, उसके लिए 75 bips they might think of, and that's what the logic is. And yes, there are also some signs which cannot be ignored, right? That the yield curve has inverted, and the 2-year yield is somewhere around 3.2%. So 10-year का yield है, that is somewhere around 3%. And dollar index 109 cross कर गया था last week, but now it is down around 2% to 107 के around अभी stable है dollar index. But yes, globally the currencies have depreciated compared to the US dollar, and that's why a lot of flow from the emerging market. Quickly, few sectors, and then we go to the questions. So Nifty Bank, one of the leader in this rally. If you can see over here, 200 DMA के almost close पहुंच गया है. So I think today's candle is not updated over here. So see, the level is 425, and today's 36,300 के around तो आ गया था almost Bank Nifty. So it's almost at its 200 DMA. And if you look from the 50 DMA, 5.5% already 50 DMA के ऊपर आ चुका है. And there is a very good setup in Bank Nifty. No two ways about this. If you can see over here, so there is a double bottom type formation. At William in the stocks we look for कि जो ये second leg है वो first को undercut करे. So that has also happened over here. And so there is a very positive setup as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned. And some of the leading stocks, जैसे कि SBI is now above its 200-day moving average. The other stocks are gaining. So results कुछ stocks के आए हैं, that is also encouraging. So that's the overall setup looks quite well as far as the banks are concerned. So FMCG, there was a result of HUL already out. So yes, this is trading near its new 52-week high. In fact, today it might have made it. So a lot of stocks are trading at a high. They are off 15-20% off lows. ITC top पे है, HUL, Britannia. अभी जो पाम ऑयल का प्राइसेस है, हर 2-3 दिन में आता है कि आज 5% गिरा, 10% गिरा. So there is a continuous fall in the input cost. Even the wheat prices have been lowered, and we discussed this a lot. जो oil के prices है, that is also important ingredient for these guys. So वहाँ पे भी prices कम हो रहे हैं. So overall, there is a good setup over here in the FMCG sector also. So if you look at Nifty IT, not the best Nifty IT. So it is one of the lagging sector. So the key results have been already out. So yesterday I was reading about the Infosys management commentary. So Infosys, the management commented, जो उनका CFO है Jatin Dalali commented that the margins we are already bottoming out in margin. So that is something to look out for that. Sorry, Wipro result. So yeah, margin abhi in logo ka bottom out ho raha hai. That is what management is commenting. But yes, again there is a fear of this slowdown kind of thing. तो वहाँ पे सीधा IT expense पे cut आता है. So these are some of the issues that IT sector is facing. Technically वो काफी weak था. So that is one issue. And if you can see 200 DMA somewhere around 28,321. And I think yes, today आज का candle नहीं आया, but today closing was just above 50 DMA. So this is again a positive add-on to the market that IT sector just closed above its 50 DMA. So this is positive. Okay, if you look at the auto, yeah, this is at an all-time high, no doubt. So this was least impacted by the recent fall. यहाँ पे एक बार February में there was a sharp correction in the auto stocks, but since March 8 low over here, it has been continuously trading higher. And look at all the auto stocks, M&M, Bajaj, TVS Motors, Maruti has recovered a lot from the bottom. So वहाँ पे relative strength strong है, and it is forming higher highs most of the stocks. So I think a lot of discussion from my side. Now the floor is open for your questions. Please do not keep repeating the question because it's become difficult to scroll more. And in the team, we are joined by Mayuresh Joshi, our head of research, and my colleague Wakar and Rajshekhar are also here. So we will try to answer as many queries as possible. The chat box.
Thanks, Rushit. I think before the query is just a couple of pointers. Rushit explained very nicely on the setup for the index, how individual sectors are coping up. One more sector which was in limelight today, right, was capital goods. So capital goods had a huge move. I think the only logic that is probably seen behind is if you look at ABB's parent presentation, right? So ABB's parent presentation had a very interesting data point in terms of the Asia Pacific market, and they said that India has received one of the largest order flows of any of the entities covered within the group itself. Similarly, I think the moves on Siemens, Cummins, I think huge moves have probably happened. And the logic is very simple. I think next 1.5 year, 1 year, 9 months, the general elections around the corner. The kind of capital expenditure the government has earmarked, government will go all out, I think, in the next year and a half to pump prime the economy in terms of spending significantly on the capital account, which basically means that a lot of money is spent on infrastructure, which is bifurcated into a lot of sub-segments as well: ports, roads, railways, freight lines, etc. And therefore, I think a lot of government capex will also translate into a lot of orders for the private sector. You've already seen two of the key pillars that the government probably wants. One, in terms of renewable energy, where a lot of earmarking has already happened, right? Two of the biggest corporates have already earmarked substantial amount, and even the government companies are pumping in a lot more over the next few years to go and transition from fossil fuels directly to renewables. So I think renewables as a space also becomes part of, or a quasi part in terms of the capital expenditure of the government, and therefore renewable stroke infrastructure development or capex on that is going to drive all these private capex higher. Will the results be a little bit on the softer side this time around? Probably yes, this quarter and the next, because if you look across the spectrum, you look at FMCG companies, HUL's management said the same thing. They are sitting on high cost inventory, and that with prices coming down, both of soft commodities and hard commodities. And as they start building up these inventories at a low level at this point of time, and if the demand does not fall off the cliff, which it does not look like right now, Q3 onwards, I think it should be a relatively better performance that probably can come through. Now, whether we land into a hard or a soft recession, I think there are two factors again here. Gazprom supplies have started. It's only 40% right now, but I think the fear that it won't start till the end of July, so on and so forth, that have probably been, those fears have been allayed. The second aspect, obviously, is that spending obviously has come up significantly in terms of retail for the Eurozone as a whole. Rate hikes going up, which means lesser disposable income, and therefore lesser money to spend across on larger commodity durable items. I think that can be the issues going forward. So I think yes, macro issues still remain. They will still persist, but I think they will keep on evolving over the next few weeks and next few months. And the markets will accordingly react. So I think there is going to be, as we say, I think a cautious blend in terms of approaching the market. And there's going to be a huge amount of sectoral bias. I think a few sectors will hold out well in markets like these. There's also going to be huge sectoral churning. And therefore, I think we need to be very watchful in terms of getting into the sectors, getting into the stocks, and then churning as the market direction seems fit, along with what is getting indicated through either our rotation graphs or through the industry group rankings as well. Heavy results coming this week. Reliance is coming out with the results post-market tomorrow. ICICI Bank on Saturday, and Infosys on Sunday. So I think Nifty will react almost 25-30% of its earnings on Monday morning. Reliance largely good set expected. ICICI good set expected. Infosys should be relatively better is what the street feels compared to the others. But with GRMs which have crashed right now, how does the future look in terms of prospects? It's something to be seen. So again, constructive in terms of having a stock-specific approach where the right side of the bases, as we always mention, are constructively being formed. Stage 1, stage 2 ideally. And third, I think where earnings trajectory has held out and where the RS line has held out pretty well. And they have not fallen too much of their highs, which we have already indicated in our reports, a couple of reports that we have already come out with and through our buy watch list. So with this, I think I'll open the floor for questions. I think we can start taking questions.
Thanks, Mayuresh. So first question, we will start with Can Bank. And then Vakar and Raj will also be joining. See over here, I think most of the, if you see the pattern, so I was also yesterday looking for the Bank Nifty chart, the other banking stock chart. A lot of them are forming this, double bottom kind of pattern. So I showed you in the Bank Nifty that it is resembling to double bottom. और यहाँ पे कैन बैंक से अगर देखें तो ऑलमोस्ट डबल, yes, it is forming a stage 1 double bottom pattern which is very strong. And I think just what Mayuresh told about the right side of the base, so this is guys very important to look for. जैसे कि यहाँ पे देखो, it is moving towards the pivot, the last leg of W. Look at the accumulation over here. See, यहाँ पे accumulation अच्छा है. I think this rating has improved. Firstly, it was somewhere C, and now the rating has improved to B. So this is what you need to look for कि यहाँ पे जब ऊपर जा रहा है stock, it reclaimed 50 DMA. See, over here it reclaimed 50 DMA on a very high volume. 200 DMA एकदम strongly उन्होंने ऊपर लिया stock ने. So now you need to wait for this 11% gain and this 4 days of result. And so last time also we discussed that अकॉर्डिंग टू ओनिल मैथोलॉजी, जब भी स्टॉक जैसे 4-5 दिन में रिजल्ट आने वाला है, एटलीस्ट 1 वीक यू शुड नॉट ट्राई टू एंटर द स्टॉक. So 5-6 days optimum you should wait, because result के around volatility high होती है. You never know what are the estimates, what it will come out, how the stock will react. So the uncertainty level increases, and if you calculate your probability, then the probability of going correct might go lower due to the result. So overall setup very good setup number expected for Canara Bank as well. The asset quality improvement is ongoing, and it is expected that it might continue in this quarter also. So if you look at the past results also, they have been very good. The earnings, the EPS is continuously improving over here. So the fundamental remains a bit fair, not an issue over there. But let's see how the result come out. और यहाँ पे सेटअप कैसा होता है, does it move towards the breakout और price volume action कैसा रहेगा, you need to watch out for that.
Rishit, hi, I'll take few queries now.
Sure.
BEL and Uflex. Vinith has asked about BEL. Bharat Electronics, disclaimer is that we have added the stock to our model portfolio today. By looking at it's a very good setup. You can see here stock is broken out of its stage 3B consolidation base, and the volumes have also come in almost 2x of average volume. That is a good sign of a strong breakout. A couple of reasons are, one is fundamentally the stock has been doing very good. It is reflected in its EPS strength of 92. Mostly it's a major defense manufacturer in India. So with the government's initiative of Make in India, most of the defense products are expected to be made in India, and government is also looking for opportunities to export our defense products. So this is one of the beneficial company in India. So the growth story will stay for long from here. And technically, you can see ratings have been very good. RS is trending higher, and a couple of blue dots have also formed recently, indicating RS line hitting new highs, which is a good technical indicator. Buyer demand is at top rating, that is A plus, which is the highest rating in our category. Number of funds have also increased by 5% the last quarter. share held by the funds have also increased. This indicates institutions are happy with the stock and continue to add more stocks to their model portfolio. And yeah, we have advised our clients to also take positions in this particular stock, and we are bullish on this stock, and we around 50 DMA or any other support line will keep that as a stop loss, or 7 to 8%, which is our hard stop loss. We'll keep that as our stop loss, and we continue to hold it to our model portfolio. Next is Uflex.
Sure, Raj, but before we go to Uflex, just one thing over here, a good learning in this chart. So in last Stock Durbar, we discussed about this base on base formation. जब भी market नीचे जा रहा है, market correction mood में है, and if you see that a stock is forming a base on base, जैसे कि यहाँ पे एक base बनाया था, after breakout it went higher, but क्या हुआ, market खराब हो गया वहाँ पे, तो stock नीचे आ गया, and it again started consolidating in a range of somewhere around 5-10%, 15%, and then again it break out on a strong volume. And in that meantime, so we discussed it that 200 DMA hold किया, 100 DMA के around support लेने का try किया. See, over here it never breached 100 DMA while making this current base. So these are element of strength. So we discussed in these things in our canceling level 2 webinar. If anyone of you might have attended it. So in those webinars we discuss these things that you should look for कि कैसे यहाँ पे element of अभी base बन गया, breakout हो रहा है, वो तो सबको दिख रहा है. But then there is one question in the chat box that ऐसे टाइम पे इमोशंस कैसे कंट्रोल करें, सारे ब्रेकआउट ऐड करना नहीं करना. So this is how you decide कि कौन सा ब्रेकआउट ऐड करेंगे, कौन सा नहीं करेंगे. You should look how the base formation is. So I forgot whose question was that, but I just read that question. क्या करें?
I also want to add Rushit and Rachikar and guys in general. I think even look at the RS line, right? So in markets where markets are very, very volatile and choppy, you look at how the RS line has inched higher, and it is the RS line it has this highest at this point of time. So we've always mentioned in our webinars for the last 3 to 4 weeks, in fact 5 to 6 weeks, when the markets were even correcting, look out for stocks with very, very strong characteristics, which include stocks where the RS rating is hitting its all-time high. This basically means that the stock is showing a significant amount of resilience compared to the rest of the market. And this is what we've actually studied, and a lot of webinars have been discussed even through our erstwhile IBD portal over the last 50, 60 years of US history, which has seen tremendous amount of bear markets right from the 70s till the COVID crash. So if the RS rating line is heading higher, if the stock has not fallen off its high significantly, not more than 12 or 15%, and where the earnings have held up relatively better, which is the ratings are relatively better on the EPS strength, I think those stocks can make significantly better moves compared to the rest of the market. So I think these are a few pointers that we also wanted to bring to your notice, because we just don't want to cover 20-25 stocks. I've always maintained that. I still maintain that. I mean, if you get qualitative learning, the rest of the stocks you can probably identify and study and make some observations. If you don't cover that, say today's session, next session, that session after that, you can always write to us with your views, and we will definitely reply.
Thanks, Rishit and Myresh, for inputs. We'll move on with the next question, that is Uflex. Uflex also currently is trading in its handle portion of stage 3 cup with handle base pattern. You can see here again the base pattern. If you observe closely, price volume action, volumes have been on the lower side when the stock closed lower. That is on the red days, the volumes have stayed below 50-day moving average, 50-day average volume. That is a good sign. That is a big hands are shaken out, and strong investors are continuing to hold the stock. And it is just 3% to pivot currently. That is a good sign. Also, you can see these highlighted portions. The volumes have been very good. That is right side of the base, indicating strong bullishness in the stock, and strong buying happened at this particular point. And during the handle portion, you can see volumes have been coming down, which is again a good sign of strong base formation. And the stock breaks out from here, another 3% up move on a very strong volume indicates a strong breakout. And fundamental ratings have been very good for the stock. EPS of 96 indicates a strong company which has been reporting numbers consistently, both on EPS and sales front have grown 30 to 40%. That is a very good sign of a growth company. And other technical parameters like number of funds have increased 7%. That is good. Again, our RS is slightly beaten down, but because this is because of handle formation. But if the stock breaks out again, we might see a blue dot formation on the RS line as well. So both on fundamental and technical front, the stock has been clicking all the boxes. If it breaks out, it's a very good catch to buy according to our methodology.
Thanks, Raj. So there was a question around the base formations. So I think the explanation might take a time, but Rucha, maybe you can just paste the link of our learning article. So
Rushit, I've done that.
okay,
I've just posted
fine.
it in the chat, right?
Yeah, you just look at that learning article link, and if you don't understand over there, then write to us. Then we'll definitely try to resolve your problem. Yes, and there is also one question on Jhatka that market upar gaya hai to shake, to remove the weak investor Jhatka. So that's what I discussed, right? But I discussed in the language of consolidation. Jhatka ki language mein nahi bola. So but it is the same thing ki there can be 200-300 point consolidation which is constructive. ऐसा नहीं है कि मार्केट सीधे सीधा ऊपर चला है. See one example over here only. जैसे कि यहाँ से जब निफ्टी 15600 से भागा, ठीक है, तो समवेयर अबाउट 17000 तक गया, एंड देन सी देयर वाज दिस पैच ऑफ कंसोलिडेशन. यहाँ पे वो 50 डीएमए भी इंट्राडे ब्रीच कर दिया था, 100 डीएमए भी ब्रीच कर दिया, ठीक है, ऊपर से रिवर्सल भी दिया. अगर यहाँ पे आप चार्ट को स्टडी करें क्लोजली तो मार्च 23 को 17442 का हाई बना के ये नीचे 17200 का लो बना दिया एंड नीचे क्लोज हुआ. So I think these are the झटकास you might be referring to, and yes, possible कोई भी मार्केट में कभी भी possible हो सकता है, but certain level should be hold, right? जैसे कि यहाँ पे 200D में breach नहीं हुआ था in March, and after that Nifty went above 18,000. So what over here you should look for is this follow through day. I think this level everyone should know कि follow through day का low है 16,150 के around. So in any case that should not breach. The second thing we already I discussed about distribution day देखना पड़ेगा. अगर distribution day built up हो रहा है, then that झटका is not only for a short term. There are chances that it might increase a bit more. क्योंकि जब भी वीक हैंड्स बाहर होते हैं ना बाजार से, तब वॉल्यूम इतना हाई नहीं होता, वो हाई वॉल्यूम पे बाहर नहीं होते हैं. द सेम लॉजिक इज लाइक हैंडल फॉर्मेशन दैट राजशेखर डिस्कस इन यूफ्लेक्स, कि जब भी हैंडल बनता है तो वॉल्यूम लो एक्सपेक्टेड होता है. बिकॉज हैंडल फॉर्मेशन क्या है कि वीक लोग बाहर निकल रहे हैं वो स्टॉक से, द इन्वेस्टर दैट आर नॉट फुल्ली कॉन्फिडेंट ऑन इट्स स्टोरी दैट आर मूविंग आउट आफ्टर सम प्रॉफिट और सम लॉस. सो सिमिलर थिंग can happen, you cannot ignore, but we will look at the chart and we will decide. So not the noise, not the emotions, but the chart is the best thing to look for.
Rushit, thank you for your analysis. I can take in a few queries now.
Sure.
Hello. Yeah. So can you give me Finetex Chemical?
Which one you want?
Finetex. Fineo. Yep. FCL. Yeah.
FCL. Okay.
Yeah. FCL. Is the stage count 4? Okay. So again, what we've always been emphasizing about is late stage basis, such as your stages 4, 5, and above are tend to fail. They tend to fail more. So that's why very few stocks have been able to rally from those late stage bases and have been successful in rallying. So I mean, stage 4 base is considered a very late stage base. So I mean, even if we try to analyze it, I mean, the setup on the downside, I mean, on the base still looked good. I mean, there was very low volumes when the stock was falling. But I mean, the only thing we can say is, I mean, it's a clear disclaimer to avoid late stage bases. Overall, in terms of ratings and everything, the company looks very good in terms of very good fundamental profile of EPS strength of 91 and RS rating of 86, RS line going higher, your buyer demand of A minus. But one more thing that I mean at William O'Neill is what we prescribe is your good fundamental holding. So I mean the number of funds in a stock that should be there should be at least 7. So in this the number of funds is only 4. It's increasing on quarter, if you see it's 30 every one quarter some of the other funds are coming into the stock. So I mean the overall demand has been improving for the stock, but before the institutional support hits or the number of funds hit 7 or more, it's better to avoid it, because you want to stay in with where the big money is, right? And in terms of, I mean, the base formation and everything, let the base count get reset. I mean, once the base count gets reset, the story is of a really good story in terms of qualitative and fundamental aspects. So if it had been a lower base count, then a very good stock to look out for. The other like to go about is Nocil. Yeah, so this stock is forming a stage 3 cup base, but overall, if you look at, I mean, it's a very wide cup base, but if you look at the right hand side of the cup and the match it with the RS line and the RS rating, the RS line is been just moving higher on the right hand side of the cup, which is a really good sign. And even if you look at the volume bars at the down end, what the prominency you can see is that on the lower days or on the red days, the volumes has hardly ever crossed your average volume line. So that is really good. And talking about the last 8 to 10 sessions, you can see good amount of accumulation happening here. I mean, in the last, I mean, in the big blue bar on the right hand side of the cup that you can see, that has been really good. I mean, the stock is still 10% from pivot, but what's leading to its rally is, I mean, its end sector mainly getting, or the user industry getting into focus. I mean, we have been talking about the auto sector hitting new highs, and so this company provides your rubber chemicals mainly to your tire manufacturers, and Nocil has a domestic market share of more than 40 to 45% in the Indian industry, in the Indian rubber chemical industry. So it's like a monopoly, it's a monopolistic business, and the company has been reporting good set of numbers for the last 3 to 4 quarters. If you look at the EPS growth and the sales growth for the last 4 quarters, it's been really good. And for the current quarter as well, the company is expected to deliver good numbers on your revenue front, the realization front as well. And even the margin has been touching new high. So overall, on the fundamental shape as well, the company is in a really good shape. And so let's see how the stock is still 10% away from the pivot. So how does it, I mean, does the accumulation continue and the stock is able to break through from the pivot on above average volumes? That will be the key decider. But overall, it's a good stock to watch out for.
Thanks, Vakar. I will take Titan now. So See, Titan came up with a very good Q1 update. So all the business growth was very strong. I think jewelry business grew more than 200% on a YOY basis. The growth in the other segments were also more than 100%. So watches and wearables and eye business. So eyeglass business were up around 150, 160%. So there was a very strong growth over there. And you can see over here also in the stock price that the bottom formation has started for the stock after the strong update over here. It has reclaimed its 50 DMA. High volume pe reclaim kiya. And there was a very strong move that day. And the gap up opening was as well. So now it is moving towards its 200 DMA. So अभी 2 दिन से ये pink line पे resistance ले रहा है, and that is the 100 DMA. So I think once this 100 DMA is cleared, then this 200 DMA. So let's check level. So the level is somewhere around 2365 for the 200 DMA, and 2300 around is for the 100 DMA. So it needs to move above these levels, and then it should approach the pivot. So earnings are due in couple of weeks, so in 15 days. So I think by that time, if the basing process is complete, and if you see mainly the margins पे अभी focus रहेगा. अभी देखो Q1 का business आया, धंधा सही हुआ, वो कोई बात नहीं है. अभी focus रहेगा earnings पे, margins पे, and outlook. What is the management outlook for the coming season? So that will be important to watch out. But aggressive entry, early entry within the base, not a good time in this market. So let it wait for the result or base completion agar hota hai, then that is the ideal thing to look for.
Rishit, I'll take RK Forge.
Yes, and in between there is 2 to 3 times there is a one query posted. So sorry, I missed that one about the product feature. Ki, like we have a blue dot scan, there is a stock at all-time high scan. So see over here, there are a lot of scanners, and there you can check it out. You can also put filters if you want. What Mayuresh discussed, that 12 to 15% off eyes होना चाहिए, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं जाना चाहिए. So you can also put those filters over here. So let me just show you that. It's not loading, taking some time. So let's continue with the queries. Then after some time, I will again try. Rajshekar, which one to start?
RK Forge, RK Ram. Ankush has asked a few stock related queries. I'll take them. RK Forgings, if you look just last couple of months action, the stock has been moving sideways in a narrow range. However, if you take a broader view, that is half yearly view, there is a lot of overhead supply here in this particular stock. Stock is around 30% of highs. So whenever the stock is trying to make a upward move, this overhead supply will definitely act as a resistance for the stock when it is trying to move upwards, because the people who have bought at this higher end will try to exit the stock in order to make break even or little profit in that particular stock. And coming to technical setup, we can see when the market is making a move, and most of the stocks are reclaiming their key moving averages. Indices have also reclaimed their key moving averages. However, RK Forging has been a laggard. I can see it is not able to reclaim its 200 EMA. That is reflected in its RS rating of 32. It's considered a poor category according to our lens. Buyer demand is slightly at a good zone. However, price strength is not acting as a good level. Last 2 days action has been very good in accordance with the market. Today it was up nearly 9% on very strong volume. It might reclaim this 200 DMA in the next couple of sessions. That is 3% from the current market price. we want the stock to make a proper base pattern before adding to a model portfolio, because the technicals have deteriorated much. We want the technicals to improve from here onwards. Number of funds have also been on the decreasing side. I can see 16% number of funds have been declined in the last quarter. That is sequentially. Fundamentally, the stock has reported very good set of numbers. You can see a double-digit, triple-digit growth rates. That is a good sign, but the technical setup is not constructive for the addition.
Just add on that today's move, I think, was mainly due to the quarterly result. I think it was hour or two back reported, and so the net profit growth was very good, and I think the revenue grew almost 67 to 68% on a YOY basis, and the EBITDA was up somewhere around 50-55%, as well as the margin was at around 21.5% compared to around 23% on a YOY basis. So I think with the good earnings and revenue growth, I think that might be the reason for a strong move today, and it reclaimed the 50 DMA. Thanks.
Next is DCM Shriram. DCM Shriram, I can see when the market was very volatile and breaching their key moving averages, the stock acted as a leader in that particular market. That is, I'm talking about March and April area. However, when the market reversed and it is picking up momentum, but this stock has turned backwards. That is, it has going downwards. For the last 1 month, it is not moving anywhere. It has been trading sideways, and the volumes have also come down significantly. That means not much action happening in this particular stock. It is trading below its 200 DMA, that is the black line. It also acted as a resistance zone for the couple of sessions in the current week and last week as well. 50 DMA acted as a support in today's session, but we want the technicals to improve, because you can see the price range is at 39. Like I was saying, the market is improving at this particular point, but this stock has not moving anywhere. Like, it has to reclaim the key moving average, and it should lead the market. But however, it has become a laggard in this particular market, and the price trend has deteriorated to 39. It is reflected. You can see number of funds have decreased by 4% nearly. That indicates institutions have exited a particular stock. And last couple of sessions, Nifty has closed higher on good volume, but see, this stock has closed lower on above average volume. That indicates a lot of selling pressure is there in this particular stock. People are looking for a better price to exit rather than buying this stock. So it's not a good sign for growth investors like us. So yeah, and next GNFC, Gujarat Nirmala. It has good support at 200 EM. You can see the black line. It has acted as a good support a few times recently, and it is trending higher as well, 200 EMA. That is a good sign. And RS line is also trending higher. Again, it is also a good sign. It is in line with the market structure. It is also slightly leading the market as well at this particular point. Fundamentally, the stock has been reporting very good set of numbers. You can see here triple-digit EPS growth rates for last 3 to 4 quarters, and higher double-digit sales growth. This is very higher. These are the stocks we look for in our growth momentum strategy, because these stocks will give a good upward momentum of around 20 to 30% within a month or two. You can see in the January, February of this year, the stock has given a breakout when the market was not so good. It has given a breakout, and it advanced around from 517 the pivot. It has advanced to 912. That is a very good return within a month or 2 months of period. So these are the stocks which are potentially potential stocks which can give 30 to 40% return because of their growth rates, both on sales and EPS. The stock can give very good return. At this particular point, we are not having a proper buy point at this particular point. We would want the stock to reclaim 100 EMA as well. That is the pink line. Then we would like to see some side of consolidation and good breakout happening from that zone.
Rushit, Vakare, can I take in some queries?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So can you give me the chart for Polycab? Yeah. There was one of the query for Polycab, and we'll be discussing this. So yes, Polycab reported its results yesterday, and I mean, even the management commentary and everything is out. I mean, the revenue and your EBITDA growth was like decent, but if you look at the low base of Q1 FY22, then it doesn't look that prominent, and even the PAT had a good one-off. And overall, I mean, the management guidance and everything is still maintained. I mean, revenue guidance of around 200 billion rupees by FY26, and your 11 to 13% EBIT margin guidance, and your 12% EBIT margin guidance for FY26. But what the company is seeing that with the softening of your commodity prices, and the revenue of Polycab is highly linked with that of your copper prices, mainly because of your wires and cables. The company, the major contributors to the top line is your wire and cables, and then is the FMEG product. So as your commodity prices is softening, they're seeing demand softening in terms of volumes not coming in, and they are only expecting volumes to revive back in H2 FY23. I mean, there we can see one more soft quarter for the company, and with that as well, you can see probably the market pricing in that at the moment. So the stock did try to break out from a cup with handle base, but it was unable to do it, and it has breached all its key moving averages from that point in time, and which is not a good sign. And even I mean, what we always have advocated about the importance of RS line and the RS rating. So from that breakout to this moment, the RS line has been making new lows, and the RS rating is currently at 40, which is pretty weak to go by. And even the off highs, or from the the stock from the highs is 21%. So I mean, the general market query comes in that when to buy this stock. I mean, people I mean, who've been not following the William O'Neill methodology or the MSI methodology tend to ask that why do you guys buy at new highs, or why do you buy close to high, or why don't you buy at the lows, or try to catch a falling knife? So I mean, the explanation came in with the question itself, like it's very dangerous to catch a falling knife like this, and it's always good to buy stocks that are making new highs, that have retraced lower lows, and which are showing good price strength relative to the market. So at this moment, Polycab is not showing that, and let's see how the stock reclaims its key moving averages, and going forward, and how on the fundamental aspect as well the stock reports its number. The other stock that I look at is Laurus Labs. So yes, one more thing. Rishad, you can your end it's okay. So Laurus Labs EPS is due in 6 days. Yes. So again, one more thing that like we always say is like I mean, should have a buffer of entry into any particular stock for at least 7 days till an result result is going to be announced, because there is a high amount of uncertainty around any result, around the result. So I mean, lately the stock is trying to show some kind of resilience, not exactly resilience. Even the market is trending higher, so the stock is trending higher as well. But the stock is still well below its 200 and 100 DMA, which is not a good sign. I mean, once I mean was a leader in the last year's market, but talking about the RS rating and the RS line at the moment, it's clearly moving downwards, and the RS rating at 33 is very weak. That easily goes in with your fundamental profile as well, which is very weak at 63. And if you look at the last 3 quarters of your EPS and the last 2 quarters of the sales growth, it's being negative, and which is being that is why the stock is clearly taking down a beating. Rishit, want to take in some queries?
Sure. Okay, so there is a question on Elecon. Then I will also take Rolex Ring. So yeah, this what Mayuresh discussed about the capex thing, that so this connects with that the same story as far as the growth story is concerned. But technically, if you look at the stock, it gave a very strong breakout when the market was falling. You know, June first week में इसने breakout दिया था. So this is something very strong. A high accumulation. Look at the blue bars in the volume side. So the accumulation was very good. Ratings, excellent rating. If you look over here, the EPS of 97, the price strength of 94, and the top-notch buyer demand. So this is what something you look for in an ideal stock, and you want to add it in your portfolio. But what happens over here is now it's already 44% above its pivot. So जब market थोड़ा momentum में आया, so you look at M factor, right? In canceling, the market direction is very important. Downtrending market में correction में you don't add the stock. और यहाँ पे इसका breakout correction time पे हुआ. So this is that one stock that moves against the market. So you know, generally what O'Neill says that out of 4 stock, 3 move in the direction of the market. और एक स्टॉक है जो मार्केट के अगेंस्ट जाएगा और वहां भी वॉलेटिलिटी रह सकती है. So just imagine this area. So here it was a consolidation over here, and it has formed this power to pivot. So power to pivot क्या है कि कोई भी स्टॉक अगर moves more than 20%, right, in less than 3 weeks, then we mark it as a power to pivot. And generally, once the power to pivot hits, that means the stock is in a very good shape, and you should hold it for 8 more weeks. So it's a 8 more weeks holding rule. And so yes, for that the power to pivot mark is important. So currently it's quite extended from its base. So 2 things to look for. या तो ये नया base बना है यहाँ पे. So ये first stage base था, तो maybe stage 2 base यहाँ पे बना दे, and breakout from there. You can look for it if the growth remains intact. Second thing you should look for, कि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि stock भागे जा रहा है, अच्छा stock है, you are not able to catch that one. Then this 50 DMA, जो red line यहाँ पे 50 DMA, that becomes important to track. क्योंकि ऐसा तो होगा ही, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि स्टॉक भागे ही जा रहा है. समटाइम इट विल, यू नो, आफ्टर 15 days और मंथ इट विल मूव नियर इट्स 50 DMA, और इधर कंसोलिडेट करेगा और 50 DMA ऊपर आ जाएगा इसका. सो व्हेनेवर द स्टॉक मूव्स नियर इट्स 50 DMA, राइट, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज 50 DMA, वहां पे आता है, वहां से रिबाउंड होता है ऑन अ स्ट्रॉन्ग वॉल्यूम. अगर 50 DMA से स्ट्रॉन्ग वॉल्यूम का रिबाउंड होता है, सो दैट इज अ अल्टरनेट बाइंग पॉइंट अकॉर्डिंग टू अवर रूल्स. And so these all the rules also you get it in canceling webinars, in the level 2 webinars. So yes, wait for these 2 things over here. Otherwise there's no major change in the fund holding over here, and the fundamentals are improving, and yes, the capex growth story remains. The other is Rolex Ring. So again, this is the same thing. June 1 को breakout हुआ, very similar setup to that of Elecon that we discussed recently. So see, Rolex Ring is, it's a proxy play for this industrial capex or the auto ancillaries की जो rally है, उसका ये one of the proxy play है. मई में इसका ब्रेकआउट, सॉरी जून फर्स्ट वीक में इसका ब्रेकआउट हुआ था. फ्रॉम देयर इट इज ऑलरेडी अप 30%. फंडामेंटली नॉट अ मेजर इश्यू. ROE ऑफ 20%. अर्निंग्स कंसिस्टेंसी इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, बट नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. द रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ इज गुड and earnings might follow, so the outlook is fine. Otherwise the relative strength as well as the buyer demand is very good, so no two ways about it. So mainly इनका जो ये bearings का काम है and forging, and so all these companies are doing quite well. And so, but yeah, this one is again extended. The same thing that I discussed about Elcon technical applies to over here. Either a new base formation or we look for a 50 DMA pullback. So, let's take one or two more queries and then close the session. There is SRF setup. Yes, so SRF is trading just near its 200 DMA. So अगर last 3 सेशन अगर आप देखेंगे तो SRF एकदम 200 DMA के just around है, and it is not moving higher, but the accumulation is very strong. अभी 2000 के near इसका ये base का low है. So if you technically look somewhere over here, yes, see 2000 यहाँ पे base है, और वहां से जब ये ऊपर गया है तो लुक एट द वॉल्यूम के कैंडल्स देखो कितने हाई है. और उससे पहले जब वो नीचे आ रहा था 200 DMA से, लुक एट द वॉल्यूम बार कि वो कितने लो थे वहां पे. सो दीज आर समथिंग प्राइस वॉल्यूम एक्शन दैट यू शुड लुक फॉर. बट नाउ देयर इज वन इवेंट ओवर हियर कि आज इसका रिजल्ट्स भी आ गए आई थिंक, एंड the result is a bit above estimate. The profit somewhere around 610 crore ka hai, which is 55% of YOY growth. Revenue growth is also very good, somewhere around 44% on a YOY basis. And iska jo margin hai, that has expanded to 25.5%, and that has grew almost 100 bips on a YOY basis. So overall iska result is good, but I think consensus estimate se margin thoda kam aaya hai. So yes, margin was expected to be somewhere around more than 26%, but not a major problem. The profit as well as the revenue growth, EBITDA, everything is good. So the result front is fine. So now let's see how the management commentary comes up. So I think if that is better, then it might reclaim 200 and this 100 DMA, and it might move towards the pivot, which is 16% away. The base formation, yes, so no problem over here. It's the stage 1 base formation. See, यहाँ पे भी consistency अच्छी है sales growth का, and you look at the ROE of 20% is quite decent. The fund holdings have been increasing, but just that two things. आज शाम को management commentary देखते हैं, mostly आ जाएगा, or maybe tomorrow, not sure about that. But yes, the results are out and the numbers are decent. So let's see how it reacts tomorrow. GHCL, let's quickly look at 2-3 setups. So yeah, it is trading near its all-time high. जब यहाँ जनवरी में breakout हुआ, so it has been continuously moving higher from there, but now it is going through a phase of consolidation. Over here, I think since last 2 to 3 months, it is going through a consolidation phase. But the good part is कि जो key moving averages है वहां से कुछ ज्यादा नीचे नहीं आ रहा है. 100 DMA is providing an excellent support to this one, and now it is trading above all the key moving averages. So the price volume action is not that strong. So wait for the results. So I think if the results come out, it's just been 7 days, so not advisable according to O'Neill to go for it. Otherwise, the earnings growth, the revenue growth, the ROE, the fund holding 32% increase, the number of funds, everything is good. No two ways about this. But let it form a base, let the earnings come out, and then only we can look for the stock. So yes, I think guys, mostly we have tried to answer a lot of questions, but every time it happens that there are a lot of participants and many few queries get missed. So you can write us on our email address and we will try to answer it as quickly as possible. So that's it for the today's session. So as you guys know that every morning at 8:45 we gather at for the pre-bell. So वहाँ पे भी बहुत सारा discussion होता है in pre-bell also, some 7 to 8 minutes of discussion every day on the global market में क्या हुआ, Nifty का setup कैसा है, what to look for, and we will come up with one watch list stock every day, which is a very interesting part, the last slide. And also after hours. So आज Thursday तो नहीं है, वरना generally at 4:30 we come up with the after hours. And Rucha, maybe you can post the link. Yes, the recording is available on the YouTube, and you will also get our links of our social media as well as the pre-bell and aftermarket shows, so that you can join it. So maybe mostly on the social media you get all the links. So if you follow that, then it will be very easy for you to not miss our all the webinars. Because see, every time you don't discuss all the things in all the webinars, but if you are consistent with few of the webinars, then that becomes easy for you to understand. So yeah, this is the pre-bell joining link. You can join it tomorrow at 8:45. So thanks Udit, thanks for joining. Yes, Milind, thanks to you also for joining in the session, as well as the Mulafar. Yeah, thanks, Pratmesh. So that's it, guys. See you tomorrow at 8:45. Thanks, Ajit, Jay, and everyone. So yes, Pranjal, it was your first session. So yeah, I hope it was great for you. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Ajit, PR Patil, everyone for joining the session.